Alright, what's up guys? We're back here with another movie review, and today we're looking at the 2002 made-for-TV remake of Carrie. This remake did not need to happen. This is one of the worst movies I have ever seen. It is so bad. It's so bad. I mean, I'll appreciate Carrie 2 over this movie. This movie is an atrocity. It is so bad. Everything about this movie is bad. They took all the important and meaningful bits out of the first movie and gave the crap over to this movie. The original 1976 one had so much going for it. It had so many good scenes. It was just an all-around great movie. This movie is fucking terrible. It is so bad. I hate it so much. And I'll admit, the 2013 one wasn't bad, but again, nothing will ever capture the feel of the original. I would possibly go back and watch the 2013 one again, which I will, to review it. But that's a movie that I would definitely come back to. This one, though, felt like a disaster. And there's a reason it was made for TV. It is a terrible remake. It is 2 hours and 12 minutes. So they added an extra 52 minutes of footage to this movie compared to the original because the original was an hour and a half. They added 52 minutes of useless footage. And it's not even 50. It's probably more than 52 since they added stuff and took a lot of the stuff out. So it's more than 52 minutes added footage. It's more like an hour and a half of added footage. It's terrible. This movie is terrible. So this is going to be a shorter review since this is a remake. And I can't really go back and explain the movie plot because I did that in the original 1976 one. So we're just going to talk about the stuff that they added in this movie, most of it, and a majority of it. So I don't know how long this review will end up being since I don't have the ability to go back and talk about the plot because it pretty much follows the same plot of the original, but in a shittier fashion and added stuff. So the first thing I want to talk about this movie is the way that one of the most infamous scenes, and this is a pretty infamous scene in horror movie cinema in general, is, a movie cinema in general, is the scene where after the baseball game when they're throwing the tampons and shit at Carrie in the shower when she gets her first period. That is an infamous scene, and a lot of hardcore moviegoers will know exactly what I'm talking about because the original Carrie is a marker in movie history, in my opinion. It's a classic. This one is not. And they even completely switched around that scene. So the scene in the original, it was a lot more graphic. Now, they had to tone it down because it was made for TV. So I understand that, but they toned it down to a point where this movie is just terrible. They completely switched this entire scene. So instead of Carrie being in the shower with the other girls, they had these shower areas that had walls around it and stuff so they couldn't be with each other or whatever. And when she gets her period, they go up over the stall or whatever and throw the tampons down like that. And I feel that scene in the original one really set the mood of this story. You got a girl and she gets bullied by everyone and nobody likes her. But in this one, it just seems like I don't feel any sorry for Carrie in this movie because it's just stupid. This movie is stupid. There is nothing redeeming about this movie. I hate it. I legitimately had trouble getting through this one since it was so boring. And the original movie executed these scenes so well. For example, the gym teacher feeling sorry for Carrie. She went and punished the other girls for doing that by taking away their prom tickets if they didn't go to detention. Stuff like that. But in this movie, they rushed that entire scene, and it just felt so rushed and joggled together. It's just a terrible movie. Everything in this movie is sped up and rushed. It's just... There's even a... Oh, I gotta talk about this. This wasn't even in the original. There's even a scene where it flashes back to Carrie's childhood, and she walks over to the neighbor's yard, and I guess she's like tanning and she's got her bra off, and this like 6-year-old girl goes over and she's like, "What are those?" And she's like, "They're breasts." And they're having a conversation about boobs, and then Carrie's mom comes out, takes her back in the house, and fireballs start coming down from the sky and pelting the fucking yard. I'm just like, where the fuck was this in the book? Why? There's no need for this. And then there's this scene where they modernized it too. There's scenes where Carrie's using the internet, and there's scenes where she's in her prayer closet, but she's got like teen magazines in there. And I'm like, so you have teen magazines in there, a lot of them, but you've never had any thought of periods or anything relating to sexual content or bodily fluids. You've never learned about that, yet you got a pile of these magazines that you keep hoarding. And she's had access to the internet at school and physics, and she's had all these classes at school, and it's just like, really? This movie completely switched the storyline in the original, and it's just all around terrible. Not to mention, the chick that plays Carrie is so bad. She looks like she's having a seizure every time she's using her telekinesis, and it's so annoying. But the one thing I do gotta say, that the person that really, the one that came back for Rage, Carrie the Rage, the counselor chick, the person that replaced her was a black girl, and she was replacing the younger version of that character. And I just gotta say, this girl, even though she's black, she acts and looks exactly like the original character. They nailed that character on the head, but it just doesn't help this movie. This movie's terrible. That actor is I don't know what her name is, but that actor is the only good thing about this. I mean, this movie doesn't even have good kills in it. It doesn't even have good kills. It's just fucking terrible. And then there's this scene where I remember in the original, Carrie was walking down the street and she went back to home and killed her mom. In this movie, she's like going through the streets, launching cop cars, blowing up houses. It's like a fucking Judgment Day or something. She takes Tommy Ross's car, and instead in the original, she flipped his car and blew up him and the prissy bitch. In this one, she takes his car and rams it into a tree and then wraps it around the tree like a freaking a bracelet or something. I'm just like, what the hell? This movie sucks. And the CGI is terrible for 2002. I mean, it's just bad. This movie is just bad. I don't even know. I hate this movie. I hate it, okay? I hate it. So, yeah, this is a short movie review, so remember to leave a comment, like, and subscribe.